The later we start, the later. Okay, yeah, we're live. Uh, Good night, Belize and Belizeans at home and abroad. This is the Belizean Affairs Show number 138 for Monday, 6th of April of 2024. We'd like to express our gratitude for those of you who tune in when we're live and to those who tune in at your own convenience after the show. My name is Leonard Brackett. Uh, I'll be your temporary chairman for tonight until our chairman shows up. And we have also our next senior panelist, Mr. Roody Wade, who will be doing for us the reading. I'll go ahead first and do the prayer right now. And so, if you permit me, I'll just bow my head for a second. Divine loving Father, we thank you for this privilege to come before thy presence, to ask that thou mayest continue to have mercy upon us. We thank thee for having given us the privilege of life and the opportunity to still be alive today among our family members, friends, and loved ones. Don't know our hearts, our desires, even our most secret thoughts. Thou who art the creator of heaven and earth and all that in them are, we pray that thou mayest give us the fortitude, the strength, the courage, the endurance, the wisdom and knowledge to be able to impart that same wisdom and knowledge to the members of our country of Belize at home and abroad, as well as to impress on our political leaders to do the right thing on behalf of our country. We pray that thou must bless Belize and its people and leadership, that thou must bless this country of the United States of America and its people and leadership, and the rest of humanity. We pray, especially, Lord, that thou will provide some comfort for those who are in harm's way, who are being killed sometimes for no justifiable reason. We pray that thou mayest have mercy upon them. Please give us some sense of comfort. Be with us now and always, for we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Mr.
Amen.
Wade, would
Thank
you
you.
bless us with
Thank
the
you,
reading, sir?
Mr.
Thank you very much, sir.
Temporary Chairman for tonight. And like you say, we await our chairman for tonight. For tonight, I'm Gregory. In a little bit, he should be joining us.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to say again, welcome to our 138th edition of Belizean Affairs, and give thanks and praise to all those who support us. You know, over our past shows and continue to support us. We give them thanks and praise. Um, Tonight I will read from Proverbs 20 to 30. It says, "The poor is disliked even by his neighbor, but the rich has many friends. Whoever despise whoever despises his neighbor is a sinner, but blessed is he who is generous to the poor. Do they not go astray who who devise evil? Those who devise good meet steadfast love and faithfulness. In all trial there is reproof. Sorry, in all there is profit. Sorry, but mere talk tends only to poverty. The crown of the wise is their wealth, but the folly of fools brings folly. The truthful witness save lives, but one who breathes out lies is deceitful.
Hmm.
In, in the fear of the in the fear of the Lord, one has strong confidence, and his children will have a refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snare of death. In a multitude of people is the glory of a king, but without people a prince is ruined. Whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper excel folly. A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot. That's my reading from Proverbs chapter 14, 20 to 30.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wade, for reading and blessing us with those wonderful words. Uh, Tonight, we will discuss a little bit about national security as regards to our country and patrimony Belize. When the chairman comes in and takes over the show, uh, I know for sure that there's a different agenda. So we'll just indulge ourselves in this national security debate or discussion in the interim or meantime. Uh, I wrote a short article which I would like to present tonight, and it says the following comments were made by Leonard Brackett as part of a Facebook post. The title is Guatemala's Armed Forces Bullying Belizeans, both civilians as well as military Belizeans. So I went on to say the Guatemalans and their armed forces need to go and study their history so they can know why the British gave Guatemala the lands around Livingston village and lands adjacent to the Sarstoon River and accessibility to the Bay of Amatique/Honduras. In respect of the Anglo-Guatemala Treaty of 30th of April of 1859 and 1863, and, decla- and declarations therein regarding the Sarstoon Island and the Sarstoon River boundary delimitation. If these people were to know what that document consists of, it would be foolish of them to be talking craziness to us, and that for the fact that they have a bigger military than us and that they feel that they can power play us and play games with us. But basically, what I interpret their behavior as intending to be is one of trying to egg us into a confrontation with them so that they can justifiably say, well, we gave cause for a war. But we are not giving any cause for any war that they are trying to instigate. If a war happens, it will be because of their instigation and or because of their treacherousness and aggressiveness and violating our territorial integrity. Now, the government that we have had in place recently, as well as this present government, has displayed a lack of patriotism and a lack of stewardship as regards to our territorial integrity and our independence. Why? They fail to follow the process and procedures and protocols that are set in place in order for these people to be checkmate. We don't have a military comparable to theirs, and our present government has been encouraging, and the past government have been encouraging our local people to be hostile and hateful towards the British, whom are the people who have kept us in safe standings so far. And when we push them away, were then left available to Guatemala to play games against us. I guess that's what the leadership of our country is inclined to do on behalf of foreign powers, rather than on behalf of our local Belizeans' uh, capability of maintaining our independence and territorial integrity. Because if they were to take those matters to the United Nations and make a formal complaint of what Guatemala is doing, or to the OAS, every time when Guatemala aggressed our people, if they were to lodge a complaint, there would be enough evidence then available if and when something happens. Because these people will not stop until something happens. Even if the ICJ rules in Belize's favor as the current situation stands, they will not cease and desist their bellicose and aggressive action towards Belize. I see the chairman is already in the background, and I need to yield. I'd just like to ask if he would indulge me for at least another 40 words. Mr. Chairman, can I just wrap up what I was reading? I'm short of 40 words to complete the essay, May I?
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll yield in a second. So I went on to say, Guatemala armed forces did not attempt aggressive military harassment against the British Army when they were guarding our borderlands. As the Guatemalan military are undertaking against Belize Defense Force. In other words, now that they think the British are gone and that we are left alone as a defenseless papa, now the wolf can come in and harass us to the point of getting us riled up and make ourselves available for the wolf to eat us with justification. But I'll leave it at that for right now. This subject is a long-standing issue, and it needs to be dealt with, fleshed out more. And as I promised the chairman, I just wanted for him to yield or let me get the opportunity to close out that thought. And since that's not the subject for tonight's endeavor, I'll just yield back to the chairman. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, sir. Good night to Belizean people at home and abroad, and welcome to this, our 138th episode of Belizean Affair. As usual, sitting with me as my virtual host, Mr. Roody, and my good cousin, Mr. Leonard Brackett. Gentlemen, tonight I want to bring a topic that has been a major issue in Belize, and I'm speaking about the constant blackout we are having because of power failure. And anyone can see that it seems as though we do not have a remedy for this, because it has been happening now for, let me say, about the past 10 years. But to start our program, I want to go to the first video so the people can get a better understanding of what is going on with this power outlet.
This was 2014, the pre-bidding meeting that the Public Utilities Commission convened for 44 applicants who had responded to the request for power. There was optimism and goodwill in the room, sustainable energy sources, they said. But 10 years later, that optimism has dimmed, replaced by these grim expressions worn by BL senior managers today as the company is in the middle of a full-blown capacity crisis, one for which there are no quick fixes. CEO Mencia says that the seeds of today's failure were planted 10 years ago.
So that means that over the 10 years from 2013 to 2022, only 8 megawatts of capacity was added to the system. And that really is the story of how we have arrived at the capacity shortages that we have. And why 2013 is important, is an important year, because 2013 is a year where the PUC, in conjunction with BL, put out what is called requests for proposals for 75 megawatts of generation capacity. So you can see from that time, everyone was aware of the need for this additional capacity, and only 8 megawatts was added. And as a result, as I said, we have ended up in a capacity shortage situation.
And the shortage situation is being addressed by short-term fixes.
Immediately what we have in place is that we're upgrading our gas turbine, as I said, at Miley, and that is expected to come back online by early next week. It was originally at 19 megawatts. It's being upgraded to 30 megawatts. So next week, 30 megawatts of additional capacity is coming online. Once that comes online, we will be able to bridge the generation shortage that we're experiencing right now.
But this is an expensive and unsustainable fix.
Just the cost of the diesel, of running the machines on diesel per kilowatt hour, ranges between 45 cents to about 60 cents, sometimes higher. You all know what is the price of electricity, right? Pre-tax. The average price is about 40 cents. So when we're running those gas turbines, we're already losing money.
Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I played that video because I wanted to hear what the people from BEL were speaking about. So, with what they have said, they are going to add a surplus by using their gas turbines. And as you heard the good gentleman said, it is very expensive to run those turbines. So if he's saying it's 47 cents per stop, you know who is going to pay for that? Apparently, it is safe to say that he's saying our electrical bill will have to go up to meet the cost to run those turbines. So first, let me go to you, Mr. Wade, before I go to the second video.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So where do I start? I don't think that it should have been a problem in terms of what will it cost. You know, after all, they've been getting millions of dollars, right, to make sure that we are supplied. Every time they have a budget reading, seems that they get money, and I think lately they want 174 million, right? That's what I understand they're gonna be getting. So I say this to say that even all these things that they are talking about, I would say 2024 things should have been better. We shouldn't have been experiencing this kind of blackouts that we have been getting uncalled for, right? They already raised electricity. Like for the past 10 years, I think they did like 2 times, right? So I say it's a shame, and seems like these people, and I'm not saying that I'm not putting this on the BL employees, right? Because they are doing a heck of a job, on what they got, right, to work with. right? I blame the past and present government, right? Because in my view, like these people, they don't care. They don't give a hoot because most of them have kick-in generator, right? They make sure they have kick-in. When the power go, they don't give a hoot, right? I mean, it's the poor people that who know got one kick-in generator like where they have, right? So they will kick the ball down the line like they do with many other essential service for the Belizean people, like healthcare and others, right? Because they don't give a hoot. So I say this to say, I pity the poor people, man, for being going through this, especially the elderly, who depend on electricity to run their little fan to keep them, cool. So I think the government need to do better, man, and let's see what they will do with this $174 million that they just allotted to them not a week ago, or something like that. So let's see. They say it. I'm pretty sure that they will say, well, like, they will make it better, right? Like what they said the last time when they got the money. This money is to make it better. So I'm pretty sure they will come up with that same crap, right? But these all these people in government, they are a bunch of losers because they don't know what the hell they're doing and what the hell they want, right? Instead of they do proper consultation with outside entities who have more experience, more knowledge, and could guide them, right, to do the right thing. These fly-by-night politicians, they think they know it all, right? And hence the reason we are in this predicament where we at. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. But let me say this to you. It goes beyond that. And as I always say on this show, they do what? They
Tell on
tell
themselves
what?
Tell on
and themselves.
themselves.
And I will prove it here tonight. It's double standard and what we call nepotism and corruption. I go to you, Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Wade, for that contribution just now. That was right down to the point. But again, because I have been privileged to learn a lot of different things and become experts in a whole lot of different things, I use my expert hat as a licensed electrical and electronic engineer. First got my first license in 1970. I wired the Belmopan Civic Center, I wired Dr. Lizama House, I wired 14 Miles Motel, I wired, basically, I did a lot of different projects in Belize before I came out to the United States. And when I came out here, I went to work for Bank of America and installed 9 major generators for them at their central facility for the data center. And I designed a whole lot of electronic security system for them as well. So what I'm about to say right now, why I preface it by saying all of what I said before, is because there are a lot of people that know me to be a nuclear engineer, a general contractor, and a whole lot of other different things, okay? But I had to say what I said just now in order to inform people that it's not somebody that's just running off his mouth because he has one mouth and like to talk and run off, as I always like to do. I do like to talk and run off, but I only talk and run off on things that I'm competent enough on. So I go back to the focus of the point. The issue is that we have in Belize less generated and available electricity on our grids to suffice the whole country. The country is growing, expanding, and we should have different costs for electricity to the big companies, different costs to the small companies, and a different cost schedule for the civilians or the homeowners. I will not debate or argue as to whether or not that is the case right now, because that can only be validated by the people who are running the system. At this point, I'm not familiar with all the details, but I know if they had that system in place, it wouldn't be hard or difficult to do as Mr. Wade earlier said. No care cost how high or how low the price of the thing is, so long as they do an equitable analysis and share the burden equitably to who can afford it, then we continue to have this kind of problem. Because when the gentleman said that they have to kick in the generator, we are getting another 30 megawatts power, I can remember that we had the bagasse argument with the Kian farmers and BSI, where BSI was going to burn the bagasse and create and generate additional power in the country. From way back when we used to have problems with the same Mexican organization not providing enough electricity because they had their own overburden sometime. And when they have overburden, they don't give us the extras. They take it to try and solve their problem. And then we are left without. The old generator right now that they're repairing and will give us the additional capacity, it's a good idea. All that's going to happen is that since we now have another new generator, or since sometimes the dam does not produce enough electricity because maybe the water is low or for whatever other reason, the end result is that we have to buy the diesel for the diesel turbine. And if it's more expensive and we have to buy it, we either buy it or don't buy it. And if we don't buy it, then we can't run the generator, the diesel generator, to make up the extra current that we need. My point is, it's maladministration on behalf of our government, because those, like for example, BEL belongs to us, the people, the government of the country. And if our government was not malmanaging, they would have enough money to make up the difference and give people, well, give BEL some extra money to make them either buy, they could have done repair that turbine long time ago. They never had to wait till now when they're under emergency, if you need it and can't have it available. The government could have provided them, and because electricity is something that you plan ahead of time, okay? Your capacities and the needs of your country is already projected out by these people that is running BEL. They know what's going on. They know what's needed. But if they can't get what's needed, then they have to do the best with what they have. So instead of we government, they go give Mr. Ashcroft $200 million, $400 million, this and that, and a whole lot of others. You know, for the last 10 years, imagine how many hundreds of millions of dollars Mr. Ashcroft got out of we government under both UEP and PUP. And I keep on flagging this same dead. Apparently it's a dead house by now, because of the flagging so long and we never get no life out of it or no movement out of it. Neither under UDP nor under the present PUP government are we getting the necessary assistance from the government coffers, because the money is just not there. And because the money is not there for the government to take care of government business and give these people a proper subvention for them to meet their obligations or the need of the society, then there comes a point in time when if we can't generate the electricity in our country and the Mexicans, they can't supply us because of whatever their reasons are, then we either have the blackouts as we are currently having. No, we have it rolling right now because they're planning it ahead of time. And it's an inconvenience. But that's all they can do. There's only so much electricity available. So all I would like to say is that the government needs to pay attention to the needs of the people in the country. Because the alternative is what they had done before, privatize it. And when they privatize it, whether they like so or not, they still have to turn around and give the private companies them the higher rate to recover the higher cost. That's how it works. So now we have it. We need the higher volume of electricity. It's going to cost us more. The people don't have no jobs, don't have this society, and the economy of the country is not buoyant enough to be able to provide for people to pay a higher rate. So the government have to step in If we use same own money, the government to spend money, to spend it on we, for us to be able to have our needs met. So an adequate government, if they're not mismanaging and misplacing or misusing or putting the money where it no need to be, they will be putting it where it needs to be. And we wouldn't be having these complaints from the people in the general public. If the price has to go up, it has to go up. But who will determine that? The board, right?
Mr. Brackett, if
Go
I
right ahead,
may
sir.
say this, sir, it goes beyond that. And that is why I choose this topic tonight for Belizean affair. I wanted you guys to see and the Belizean public to see it, at home and abroad, what is really happening in Belize. I will go to my next video. And after the next video, you guys, as well as the people, will start to understand where I'm coming from when I say what I have to say after the video.
I know that Biela has sounded the warning. Two things. One is that the most important thing is that the economy has been growing very fast. Whenever I speak to the CEO, he tells me, I know how the economy is going. He says, whenever I see electricity consumption is going up, it's because the economy is also growing. And that's what they've been experiencing. That's one part of the equation. But the other part of the equation is also Mexico is having some serious problems with the energy. They're running short of energy, and especially now in the Rivera Maya, that area also that's booming and growing. And so if they have to cut, they're not going to cut Mexico, they're going to cut Belize. So he has sounded the warning. Also because of the drought, we have an issue with the dam, that the dam is reaching levels kind of where kind of start to sound the alarm that if you continue like that, hopefully we're going to have more rains that the dam can be filled and so we could get more. But what is it that we're doing? We're doing a number of things. First of all, they are bringing in two, I think, movable generators, and I think they want to take one to San Pedro. That's one. Secondly, the Boeing and Boeing group have won a bid to provide solar energy, and they think they're going to be doing it in the Corozal district and probably somewhere in the Belize district by Bomba in that area, I think. I think it's about 15 megawatts. The problem is now that the PUC has been taking their time. They're trying to make sure that we get it right. When they sent out a letter now to the Boeing group about the price that they want for the Boeing group to pay, it was way too low, and I am not an expert, and I figured that would not work. So the Boeing group said no. What we have done, I've called a meeting. We had a meeting with them last week with the Boeing group, with PUC and BEL, and so now the PUC is going back to the drawing board and trying to come up, because there are certain assumptions that I believe were not properly ventilated or analyzed, and so now the idea is now that within 1 month they're going to come with another with another price that we could buy which then the Boeing group is saying, well, they think that they're prepared to do that. Once they do that, then they could start setting up. So within a year, we're going to have that.
Now, gentlemen, you heard what the Prime Minister said. You heard what the good gentleman from BL said. They are going to use their gas turbines, and the fuel is expensive. So, the question to you guys and the people at home, who do you think they will buy these gas from for those engines? Where the price would be so expensive to run this generator. Mr. Weird.
What was the question there, Mr. Chairman? Tell me. Ask me, tell me,
Mr. Wade,
for clarity.
the question was, you heard what the Prime Minister said, and you heard what the good gentleman from the air said. They got to bring forth the gas generators, and the cost to run it for the gas is expensive. So I was asking, who do you think those gas will come from to run those generators?
Well, Mr. Chairman and Leonard and our viewers and listeners, I think that that venom that comes out of that man's mouth, yeah, is well calculated. He knows what he's doing and what he's saying, and at the end of the day, he will get what he wants, and he will get richer. He will get richer on in the name supplying diesel to BEL. All right, because like I said before, he don't give a hoot if the power go up or power go down or we stay in blackout for months, days. He don't give a damn because, like I say, he have other resources. But to answer your question, Mr. Chairman, the Prime Minister will get very rich because he owns maybe 90% of the gas outlets in this country. So you decide. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Mr. Brackett. Now, if that is so, let's say that is our belief. You heard him talking about the Boeing Group and solar panel. So then, why did they not continue the negotiation with the Boeing Group to get the extra energy that we need to the solar panels from the Boeing Group? Mr. Brackett,
As I stipulated earlier, well, first of all, I will answer the first question that you asked, which was where is the gas? And it's not really gas per se, so that's just a
Diesel.
misstatement. It's diesel. Where is the diesel going to come from? The presumption or the assumption could be that it could be coming from a private gas company, such as the one Mr. Brisengene owned. But I beg to differ, and that is that it is the government that has the ability to import gas and tax that gas or that diesel and tax that diesel. So the diesel don't have to be at the same price as it is sold in the regular gas station. Because the government, since we are the government, and we want to buy the diesel from ourselves to put it in the electric BL to make we get the electricity, it means then that the price of the diesel should be cheaper. That's how you, in economics, that is how you do your calculations. And the money should be available to buy that diesel up front or to pay for it up front to BEL. In other words, the government can give BEL a subvention until BEL collects back for the services that they will render when they produce the electricity to the general public or to the commercial entities. There are different ways to skin the cat. It's all about, like I said, management. But what we have is mal-management. Not adequate management that project ahead of time for these things, because these things will happen. It's not the first time that we're having blackout in Belize. Every year we got blackout in Belize, some part of Belize, or we have the same shenanigan goes on. Sometimes they only use the district maybe and black out the district so that they don't black out the big commercial centers or the big commercial entities then. But every year, if you go and check back on the records, you'll find that somebody is get blackout. Sometimes it's accidental. So maybe one switch chip, or maybe one switch get is old and it doesn't function adequate, and it does, there are a lot of different possibilities. But I want to go to my point that I would have liked the chairman to have asked me about, and that would have been about what I know he's interested in, the electrical panels then. The electrical panel with BEL is just a small snippet of another overall bigger project that was spoken about many years ago. And money was being appropriated, or at least borrowed, towards that objective.
I
But I'm
remember
not
that.
going to that yet. I'm not going to the big thing yet. Let me stay with the small thing. I need for people to understand where they go on. So the small thing is the Boeing and Boeing, like the Prime Minister mentioned about. Then one produced, I think, was 17 megawatts or something like that. But for them to produce that, they have to get one order as part of what you call the response to a proposal for services, electrical services at that. They have to be awarded a contract that will guarantee them their upfront investment, because they're not going to go and build no solar panel and have nobody to sell the electricity to. So if the government, as a good manager, as I'm trying to say over and over, they wouldn't have waited till know that we have a crisis, enter into an agreement with Boeing for them to 1 year later. Now, is the Prime Minister intimating when he said that 1 year later they have produced the output of the electricity then, if they order for it now? That means that for the next year, well, I shouldn't say that because I know better, but I just use his statement, okay, in the context of where he used it, that for the next year, you have to wait till that thing come online, then you get that 17 megawatt. Why didn't they plan ahead, like I'm saying right now? And I said before on this show a few minutes ago, malmanagement, these things are known. Then people who work at BEL, the engineers, them, they know how these problems could be solved, and they know that they need the money. They could either pay the higher price, because another problem that we have is that we're not paying a high enough price to Mexico for their electricity. So they only sell us when they have extras. That's the way the contract is set up. If they don't have extras, they don't, like the Prime Minister himself said, they're going to go ahead and service for their big tourism industries that they have there, and to hell with Belize. So we Belizeans have to think ahead and plan ahead for our purposes. Go ahead, they could have gone ahead long time ago and enter into the contract with BEL, I mean with Boeing and Boeing. But at that time, the price would then appear the electricity right now for suppliers. Boeing and Boeing could not live with that because they may never make enough profit. But now that they are negotiating with them, they realize that they need the stuff, and it costs us, like I said earlier, one way or another, somebody got to pay for it. And since the thing belongs to we, they're not private anymore, because even when the private people they had it, they still get the extra money out of we. They never lose. So if we want it as the government and the people of Belize, and we need the thing, we just have to pay whatever it costs for us to get the item. And we could get it cheaper than if we buy it from a private person. Why? Because if we say in government, they bring in the contracts for the gas, that we determine where price gas, we determine how much we add as taxes to it. Almost half of the price at the gas where we buy right now, or where people buy it at the gas station, almost half of the price that you're paying at the gas station is going directly into the government coffers. That's one of the biggest ways how government make money in our country. So we don't need to charge ourselves twice as much for the diesel. We could buy with diesel from abroad and sell it to ourselves at half the price. And we solve that problem right there. Go ahead, sir.
Brackett, if I
Go ahead,
may,
Mr. Chairman.
there's a catch to it. Because what you are saying, you are on the right track, but you're missing the point. What happened is they never did do anything with the Boeing Group. I will tell you why.
But
And
I
why
just
the
pointed
good
out, Mr.
gentleman
Chairman,
speak
that they never
about the
did, and they haven't
generators.
done, and they're just looking to start doing it now. And we have to wait now
No.
another year then for Boeing
What
be
the,
available.
what the
So we
Prime
have
Minister
the
said,
whole, fan out till the next year? Bad management.
I want you to listen keenly to what I'm about to say,
Yes, sir.
because this is the catch. The clip I played with the Prime Minister was back in 2023. They made no effort with PUC to get Boeing to dig the solar panel in that would tie into BL grid. You know how much kilowatts was needed? The most was 20. You know why? BEL grid cannot take more than 20 kilowatts on the map as we speak right now.
Uh,
That is
no, sir.
why,
Mr. Chairman, just a point of order,
yes,
sir. And please allow me to interject. Currently, there's a need for 119 megawatts service to the whole country. Okay, they only have 94, I think, so they are short of 20 yard. Okay, and the 20 yard, once Mexico started to reduce what they used to produce or give to us, means that we are always in a deficit. So they should have projected from ahead of time, like I said, go ahead and make that panel come in, because not only the panel, we need every year, we increase the volume of electricity that the
Mr.
country needs as a
Brackett,
whole.
Mr.
Okay,
Brackett, I'm aware of what you are saying, and I'm trying to express to you. It goes beyond that. That's why I say they always tell
It's called
themselves.
corruption.
If you knew you only needed that amount and 15 would help, why would you do this? And listen to the tape.
We just signed a loan for 70, I think it's about $77 million, and that will allow us to be able to set up a solar plant for 60 megawatts. As you all know, because the economy has been growing so fast, the energy consumption also is increasing, and we are going to soon max out what we have. That is one part. The second part is that also Mexico is having problems with energy. Presently, we produce sustainably through 61% through renewable sources of energy, 61%. And we want to go to 100%. And solar is one of those ways. So this investment will help us to get towards that 100%. And secondly, it will take us towards being fully energy independent, and that is why we felt that this loan is very important for us. It is a loan that we will pay only 2% per annum, and I think it's going to be paid over 30 years. So it is it's a big win for Belizeans.
Leonard,
time ago,
Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, you
and
did
they still haven't planned for it yet.
the
You
contract
remind
with
me of the
Boeing.
CT scan there, guys. You remind me of the CT scan. That talk right there.
Oh man.
Listen to me now, because this is where it gets good. Puff and the government did not do the deal with Boeing. Instead, they went and borrowed $77 million from the
Where is it?
Saudi for the said solar panels that would tie into BL. But what is the catch? For 60 kilowatts, when BL only can take 20 kilowatts on their grid. So why get all those money? You see the catch? $77 million. You will build a system, but all you will get out of that $77 million is just 20 kilowatts, because that's all the grid can take. And I will play on the next step. Mr. Wade, let me go to you first.
I said I laugh, because man, it's only me, everything comes out of that guy's mouth worse than the bite of a Tommy Goff. That's how I feel. The whole scenario plays out, and when the talk remind me of what they did with the CT scan, right? Right? That 60 kilowatts that we want. And he know damn well that we only, the system only could load maximum more is 20 kilograms, and anything over that, we overload the system. But you say, they say, fool the talk all the time, and I'm not fool to listen, because, well, he said Belizean foolish. Belizean people stupid, right? But I say this to say that, you know, you said that they tell on themselves, I think it's like, you know, I think they're just trying to piling up and get loans and get things from money on different stuff, because an election is right around the corner, right? And the thing is that, you know, sadly, that, you know, the same, like I said before, the same BL problem that we have, the same blackout, we don't just have it now, you know, right? And our way for them capitalize, right? And I say this to say, I make sure away from the point. You see the same solar, this thing had happened before, you know. They had gotten money already before. I'm not talking now that venom that come out of his mouth a couple days ago. I'm talking in the past administration, okay? But what is happening right now and what's going around talking and people talking about it, that there will be a tax. So if Roody Wade want to cut off BL and buy my solar and for run my Lee house and my Lee refrigerator and my Lee thing, there will be a $500 tax for Roody Wade.
Fine.
Okay, they will fine you, right?
Which is
No,
illegal,
my
by the way.
people, whether it's illegal or right, I'm saying, I will try to tell you what will happen. And that will be the whole consumption of the whole solar system in the talk about there, right?
Monopoly.
Because a lot of people is going solar in this country. All in the rural somewhere. And in the past administration, there was some money from the European Union, I think, given to this government to electrify the rural communities free of charge, a grant. Did it happen? My people, I know they talk no stupidness, man. So that man and that past administration, they all need to go. They are some bunch of criminals, right? But at the end of the day, who get the bukut? Call it, you know. Because then we know they're on track, you know. No, we know they're on track, trust me. But at the end of the day, who get the bukut? We, the poor, and the people who need, and, you know, taxpayers and everybody, that we get the bukut while they ride off with the millions. Huh? This thing could have fixed, instead of give that devil Ashcraft so much of the taxpayers' dollars, man. That man just come away how he suck at this country, man. From both from UDP and PUP. Right? Just suck and sadly, he know damn well that none of Bricenio and pay or George Price or may he rest in peace. Or Dean Barrow or Musa. No. They all work together, you know. This is the whole way went. Give the people a bukut, Mr. Man. You just sue it.
Modern slavery.
Yes, you just sue it.
Modern slavery, Mr. Chair.
And with a stroke at the penny of the house, I will just give you your money. And to hell with the retirees. And to hell with the poor people that we need to pay, because they're not important. So I say this to say that with all that damn money that devil reaped from this country of ours, man, we could have top of the line electrification in this country, man. And at the end of the day, going right to Guatemala, go beg for some energy. The same man. The same prime minister. He going to solicit Guatemala because they are in bed, you know. Right? You see the worry where they go on at the SARS soon, you know, that he could care less. Right? They're going to shoot out so much BDF, could they so much. They they could care less, you know. But at the end of the day, hear what he said, that he know that Mexico will pull the switch, pull the plug. So he going right to Guatemala.
Mr. Wade,
So
Thank
I say
you,
this, I
Mr.
sum it
Wade.
all this all up to see where the squandering of the money,
can I just add
where they have no intention of better off the system. It's all about a corrupted system.
can I
Back
add
to
one
you,
statement to
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman? Can I add one statement to Mr.
Go ahead,
Wade
sir.
comment just now? Remember when you brought up the part about the military people from Free side could end up to get hurt? That's our soon situation there because the government is not doing their job properly.
Far from happening.
We have some of our military people got hurt right within the boundary of the country, our city, of the last one they want to get shot down in a helicopter. Okay, and what did the government do for them and their family and their children and whatever? Up to today date with the talk, and they still haven't settled anything with those people to help those people so that they could move on with their life. That's the kind of respect and consideration they have for we military people.
As an ex-military, I could see a catastrophe happening pretty soon, based on action.
Thanks, Mr.
Sorry
Wade.
about that, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Brackett,
Yes, sir.
before I go to you, because I said tonight, I will prove what is happening as we usually do on Belizean affairs. Mr. Brackett, I want you to hear, and the people at home and abroad, to hear how they defended this loan in the house and how they praised what it was going to be used for.
Where is the money?
Saudi Arabia, Madam President, is known for selling oil through Aramco, the biggest company in the world. And they are lending money through a fund to us for solar. The last time Senator Courtney asked me if I knew about Afrobeats. Was it Afrobeats, Senator Courtney? I surprised you know about Afrobeats. I surprised you know. Talk about Rima. Was it Rima, right? Yes, man. Well, I'm sure you've heard about Busta Rhymes, right? You heard Busta Rhymes? Carl, you don't know about Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Talk about that Arab money. Not like that Arab money. Like we just can't get enough of it. And it doesn't seem like our thirst for it will ever be quenched. To the point where we're borrowing monies, entering into agreements, signed by the Prime Minister, and he doesn't know anything about what the money or how the money or where the money will be used.
I would beg the Belizean people, even if you're listening to the presentation this morning in the Senate, is that you be that critical mind and that you question what was presented on his behalf. Because if you would take the time to just go to the first 2 pages of Wikipedia, it clearly defines the success that the Saudis have as it relates to solar energy. So to put them in a box that they're just expert in oil is just totally wrong.
Now, gentlemen, did you hear how they defended it? Did you heard what the young lady said? But what you did not hear, we will hear what the Minister of Finance said. But before I do that, let me hear from you, Mr. Brackett, because you sitting here with me and the people at home and abroad will hear it for themselves how much the BL Power Grid can take, not from our mouth, but from the finance minister. Go ahead, Mr. Brackett.
I have a question as regards to the Saudi loan. At 2%, a magnificent loan. Other than the fact that it's just another loan on top of other loans, on top of other loans, on top of more loans and previous loans and other loans that we still can't finish, collect more loans on. Where is the money? I don't know. I asked the wrong question or something. Where is the money? I didn't have a chance to check my change, much less the money when I
Well,
said
the
they get to
money
the
come
purpose.
from
Where is the money?
the money will be collected from the taxpayers and the people of this country.
No,
They will send it. They
the
will
money
send
the money
the
where they ask
public
what are the money for?
officers. They will send your public officers pretty soon. They'll do they do collection. They'll be the collection agency. It was spoken in a meeting
Mr. Wade,
today.
the money that I'm asking about, where is the money? Is the money that the Saudi supposed to lend to us for this grand project?
That won't pay it back though. I tell
No, yeah, but I understand. I got your point. But I'm concerned or interested in finding out where is the money, or what was it spent on?
Yes.
Who got the money? I want to check the change in my pocket.
We will never know, Leonard. We will never know.
Like they always say, check your change. Well, I don't want to check my change. I want to check the money. Where is the money? That's I mean, I don't know. Maybe I had to go crazy or something. Or I had to lose my mind or something.
No. You're perfectly in order.
The man stand up there, and the other senators stand up there, and my relatives stand up there in the Senate, and they all the boast about this money.
Oh yes, it's a big it's a big.
Where is the money? Is my concern or my question, and I know how else I could ask it to make I get the correct answer. But go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
They all was cool.
Question was,
Mr. Chairman, sir, they all was cool in that Senate meeting as to what they will say and how they will say it. They were schooled.
Gentlemen and people at home and abroad, I cleared the clip to say that the government of Belize did not have to borrow the $77 million to make a solar panel that will tie into the BL grid for just 20 kilowatts, when they could have simply gone ahead with Boeing Group and get that amount of kilowatts from them, being the Belize electricity grid can only hold that. Seems to me that is a certain capacity that it was designed for, and even though they are crying about we need 100% and we need so much, it can only take 20 kilowatts. No.
Not kilowatt, megawatts.
I want you sitting virtually with me and the people at home and abroad to listen carefully, because I don't want them to say that we are making up this stuff, or it's just coming from us. Let's hear from the finance minister, only what he says.
We have gotten the support, or we asked, requested the support of the International Finance Corporation, which is the private sector arm of the World Bank Group, to do site selection and provide transaction advisory for us. That site selection is ongoing. They had originally cut it down to 19 sites. Now it's down to 10 sites. Final, we're hoping to get it down to about 5 sites where the solar. Ideally, we'd want to put it at 2 sites. As far as I understand, BL can only handle the transmission grid can only handle 20 megs, maybe 30. Technically, we have to clarify that part. But if it's 30, then it's 2 sites. If it's 20, it's 3 sites. IFC is settling on those sites for location of the solar plants, the solar equipment, and then.
Now, gentlemen, if you only can handle 20, why borrow $20 million? When the Boeing Group could have.
Mr. Chairman,
solar panel?
A point of order.
Yes, sir.
While you're stipulating your comments based on what the gentleman, Mr. Koyi, as Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance was referring to, he was misspeaking, okay, by the way. He was not on top of the game because he's not knowledgeable about that type of stuff. So he made a mistake in the numbers that he was calling out there, like the Prime Minister always does in his own ministry as well. They call out numbers when not jive with the facts. Instead, they go and consult with the relevant entity that could provide them that information. That's only one point I'm trying to state to you, as a matter of fact, right? A point of order. Because, like we said, other people here will show, and we know we here to try give advice or make comments, and then we make comments on malinformation or wrong information or inadequate information. Because then all we will be doing then is propagating the misinformation that they provide to us. That's one point. Next point is, as regards to the 16 megawatt thing that they wanted to do with the Saudi loan, that would have been to improve our present infrastructure and to accommodate for the growth of the country. So on that, I would not have beaten them up or argued with them, other than the fact that they take up more money for something that is way ahead of us, at least by another decade, if I'm thinking correctly. That right now we're under pressure to come up with something that meets our current obligations and need. And you project on another 10 years ahead, and you have to fight to come up with the money to deal with that thing ahead. Deal with the present circumstance and stop the blackouts them. That would be my approach. No, that they ain't got the power, so that they exercise that power.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett.
Yes, sir.
But what I was getting at is this. If they do the solar panel and we can get 60 megahertz, that is good. But at the end of the day, you can only push out 20 to BL grade. So what will happen? You will have party just on standby, doing what?
On that point again, please hear me clearly what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm going to repeat myself at nauseam if need be. I, as an electrical engineer, knowledgeable about electrical issues, would tend to believe the senior electrical engineers that made their presentation on behalf of BEL and the BEL management people then, over the government officials then, because they don't know the elbow from them, but in terms of those issues. So when they put out numbers that doesn't jive with the reality, such as, for example, the man don't stipulate at BEL, the chief engineers that stipulated that they need 100 and about, I don't know if it's 117 or 119, but somewhere in that parameter of available current to sustain the present demand.
Yes, Mr. Brackett. Let me say
let
this.
me finish the statement, please.
The
Please let me finish the
20
statement.
kilowatt will push it to the 100 plus they need. The 20 kilowatt will push it to that.
What I'm saying is that the grid can accommodate close to 120. Okay, let me just be specific. But they are only producing 90 odd. And they need the extras from somewhere. And they know they get it. That's why they have to have the blackouts, so that they could only run certain amount of electricity that is available, and some people won't be able to have because they don't have enough to share for everybody. In the Yemen language then. So if you produce the 17, when I say, then could I get from Sabo in there? If they may order for the thing from ahead of time here, from way back when they were talking about it, now we may have it. They may still short of maybe 5 or 6 megawatt, but that would have been less problem than the being short of 20 odd as it is now. Okay? The bottom line, as I'm saying, they screwed up. They didn't plan ahead. They didn't put the money. They didn't make the contract with the people, because then they hustle the money to put it aside to go give to Mr. Ashcroft. And I was saying that for a long period of time. That's when a chance to teachers them and the other civil servants to take away their money, to put it aside, they add it up, they go give me charge craft. All these things is as a result of malmanagement, as I'm trying to say.
Mr.
We had the money, then could I pay for the thing at the higher price? Because we belong to and we need the service.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman. I'm glad.
Thanks, Mr. Brackett. Mr. Wade,
Mr. Chairman, I'm
before I
glad
go
that
to you, go ahead, sir. You want to say something?
Yes, shortly. I'm glad that you be able to pull up these things and things that comes out from these people's own mouth, right? And how they conflict each other, right? And you hear the expert what they say, but the money man them, and you rightfully says, Mr. Chairman, I personally see that at extra 40 kilowatts. Megawatts. And remember, like you said, my stupid mind, I don't know export, right? If you need 20, you need 20. Why you want 60? Why you to get money for 60, right? Where the money going for the other 40, right? Where if you put the 60 in the system, work, overload it.
They don't put 60 in there.
No. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. So the same way that you see the Koyi guy and the Briseño guy again, how they conflict each other. You see the health minister, the Bernard guy, and the prime minister, how they conflict each other for money.
They're not doing homework.
So, thank you, and I hope that the people who they watch and watch you, not say like it come from full mouth. Thank you, right?
Mr. Wade, it was way back. They do sit down and have conversations because that 60 kilowatt was set back in 2023 by the Prime Minister in that interview. Then here
someone they don't understand the assignment, Leonard.
No.
Now you have the finance minister repeating the same 60 kilowatts.
It's so sad. It's so
but
sad.
To finish it off, let's play this tape and listen to this guy from BL. Just so we can just finish it off.
Last night, basically, we had one of those days where they call us and they tell us we need to curtail your supply. And so that you guys need to zero the transfer of power at the interconnection point, right? When that happened, we had to bring up all the generation that was available. And that was not enough so that we could zero. So thereafter, we had to do some load shedding. We opened a few of our distribution feeders in order for us to be able to meet that requirement. Now, what is happening to us nowadays is, it's something that we foresaw happening, and we took action. I think we went ahead and purchased another gas turbine, and we have deployed that to San Pedro. However, that project is still not commissioned. It is expected to be commissioned by the end of May, early June. We also have another project that is really, really impacting our performance right now, which is the availability of the gas turbine at Mile 8. And why is that? Is because that unit is undergoing another upgrading project. We are almost at the end of the third week of that project. We have GE here. We have different contractors working on that turbine replacement. And that's why we went ahead as a responsible utility. We went ahead and notified our customers that during these 30 days, we would be very vulnerable because without the additional 20 megawatts of capacity, that we take that 20 megawatts of capacity from our in-country equation. We also lose the capacity to have those emergency or black start procedures in case that we lose the system. And that happened early this morning. Right? Last night, basically, we had one of those days.
How much do they need? 20 watts? Now imagine. 10 years ago, this problem was around. They had the opportunity to solve it with the Boeing Group just for 20 megawatts. Look what they did. It would have been simpler to pay the Boeing Group than to go and borrow $77 million where you will have in excess of megawatts, knowing when the rainy season starts, you have the Tulia Dam there. So what are you going to do? Close the dam because you will get all the megawatts from the solar panels. All they are doing is driving up costs, and it will be in whose pocket when they go and buy those turbines? The people's pocket and tax money.
And lastly, Mr. Go ahead, Leonard.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to the Mile 8 diesel turbine, it is not just only a repair job that they are doing, from what I understand. They are doing an upgrade. So in effect, they're going to get 30 megawatts out of that particular upgrade when it is finished, according to the gentleman, in another month or so.
It's a mess, but I like to say this too, Mr. Chairman. I always advocate for the poor and less fortunate. The problem, and the heartaches for a lot of people when you have blackout, and when power when the power actually come back. Some of these people TV blow out. The refrigerator and the blow out, the electrical equipment blow out, the electronic thing blow out.
And some of them are not properly going with.
That is what happened to poor people, right? And who replaced these things? Not BL, not Brisenio, not the government, right? But it's their fault. In the US, if you could prove that your equipment goes up because of the blackouts, they replace it, right? For free. Because it's their fault. These idiots here will not going to do that. Poor people will have to try to find out how they will purchase another fridge, right? Or another TV. It happens all the time. You hear the man talk about zero. They want zero. And then they have to move fire, plug in this one, pull out that plug, pull the next plug, pull. And in the meantime, people, electrical equipment blow, right? In the process of them doing that. That's all I wanted to say, right? Because that's real.
Over and over that happened.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Mr. Brackett.
Yes, sir.
If upgrading the turbine at Mile 8 will give 30 megawatts.
Why they want 60?
Before?
Why they want 60 now?
Hello?
Why did they not do
could you repeat that a little louder for me?
Why they want 60?
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat that a little louder for me? I'm just kidding, no, okay? I heard you clearly.
You know why?
That's what I talk about when I say malmanagement. That is what I'm referring to when I say malmanagement.
Who question these guys, man? Who question these guys? That's my point. Who hold them to task? Mr. Man, you can't do that. Mr. Electricity Man, you can't do that. Mr. Brisenio, you can't do that. You can't. who question these people, then just do unto us over and over and over and over, right? Have us dependent over and over and over. Sad. Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman?
Reid and Mr. Brackett,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
any smart individual with good background like my good cousin would know this is a whole 10-year period. While they had enough energy coming from Mexico, they could have upgraded those turbines to 30 megawatts as they are saying. And we wouldn't be in a position, we wouldn't have to borrow $77 million and we'd be okay.
But it's convenient for them to borrow the $77 million because they want to get one contract to give somebody of preference. And then money will roll. You have to understand how this thing works, Mr. Chairman. I mean, I'm not saying
But
that you don't understand. You know? I'm making a generalized
that is
statement.
why I am calling it out. Because look how the money is rolling. In the diesel gas, in the purchasing of new turbines, in the paying back of $77 million. So
still money out of our pocket, right? The money never come out of the senior or any of the minions in pocket. Still the public will have to pay for that, one way or another. Why mismanage then? Is my question. And where is the money?
What do we have to show for it? Just like the road. Like the road. Billions. What the hell we got to show for the billions? That goes to you, Mr. Road Minister.
Remember now, guys, let's not forget.
I'm smiling, you know. I'm smiling.
Let's not forget that
but this is serious matters, man. You know what people suffer? The indignities and the calamities that some people suffer, even to the point of death in a free country, just because they don't have a couple of nickels in a pocket. And these jackals and hyenas are mismanaging and are so indifferent. Just because it doesn't cost them a penny. In fact, then they get paid for the industrial conduct.
Exactly.
At that, then they get paid.
Handsomely too. Handsomely.
And on top of them pay, then they get all kind of largesses out of the government coffers. Or out of
they could have tried other methods too. Because I know my good cousin is aware about incendiary that gives off power. California have a couple of them where they burn the trash and get electricity.
That's what we were going to be doing at Tower Hill. But because the people at BSI never want to share the profit out of that with the Caneros, the whole thing gone down the drain. When in fact the bagasse from the cane sugar, that's still the property of the Caneros them. Because they didn't grow they produce the cane and the bagasse. So they sure were entitled to getting part of that. But because the greedy BSI and ESR never want to share, you know, there was no negotiation and conclusion to that agreement, to that process. And then the government never get those amount of megawatts of electricity as well. Then could they make them one electricity instead of they have to take free electricity off of free grade. They could make them one electricity and sell we extra electricity out of the bagasse. And that could be going on for years and years. Every year, then the grind more cane, more bagasse becomes available. So it would have, you know, it's an unending cycle of profit.
Just because of me. My people, guys, just like to say this real quick. I
go to you, Mr. Reid, for your closing thought.
Yes, I am seeing pretty soon another hike in electricity and water. Another hike. My people, so look out. Another hike in electricity and water. And all these things come from our own natural resources. Right? But anyway, it's always a pleasure to be in your company, guys. And I hope that, you know, we you know, educate a little bit. And, you know, we're calling out the ills. And I call on the government, you know, come on, do right by people, man, and stop lying. Get on the facts right. Do right by people. You know, it's not your money. Always remember that it's not your money. It's the people's money. So let us see value for money. Stop that reckless spending. Stop the corruption. need to stop that and do right by people and nation, man. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Brackett, your closing.
Yes, sir. I'm surprised you and everybody else tonight. Mr. Wade, I'm surprised you tonight, sir. My cousin, Mr. Greg Brackett, I'm surprised you. And I'm surprised the rest of the public because I've never been known to respond the way I'm going to respond right now. But it's going to be nice and saucy. Does anyone think that the government would be able to manage our country a little better off than they have been so far if they were actually listening to our program? I mean, not that we are the only one capable of telling them or pointing out to them their shortcomings and their deficiencies, but at least does anyone think that our country could be better off if our government were to be listening and paying attention to some of the things that we advocate here on this show? Or are we just wasting our time because there will be no outcome? Which, based on the past trajectory and the past experience, that's not true. We have had 90+% of what we have advocated for being addressed. So the question still remains, is the government so dismissive and so petty that they can't take free good advice just because the ideas not come out of their head, or because we are negative towards their conduct? Because in effect, they are the government. It is the government that we have to speak to and demand accountability and redress and assistance and help from. And that's the end of my closing for tonight. That was the surprise that I'm going to end so quick and so easy.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. What you were speaking about is called democracy. The Constitution gives you the right, as well as any other Belizean citizen, that are electors, to hold their government accountable.
The last
Could you give me a minute? Could you give me a minute, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman, the last time I noticed.
Give me 1 minute.
The last time I noticed,
based on what Leonard said just now.
Wait, Mr. Wade. The last time I noticed,
I still
carry a Belize passport, and I could remember,
right.
I'm registered as a voter.
Okay, Leonard. You said 90%. Mr. Chairman, 1 minute. 90% of the things we talk about, no, it be 91%, because we've been advocating for paying our retirees, right? And pay what they owe to the workers, and then they scramble for money right now. I heard it in the come out of his mouth. I think it was today, right? They're on the budget meeting. They're scrambling for money. That's why I mentioned. He said that he will send the public workers to go and start to collect money, because they need to pay the retirees. All right, so they need to collect the money so that they pay so it's not 90%, it's 91% of what we talk about.
They need to go to Mr. Ashcroft to get back to the money where they get.
Sorry about that, Mr. And I'm glad for that. Back to you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that. I use up 1 minute for you.
Nice program, Mr. Chairman. Nice program, Mr. Wade. I enjoyed it.
Try to educate the people here as we do it on Belizean Affair. Everything that we speak about on this show, we always try to provide the proof as to what is being said by our elected politicians, so that you, the people at home and abroad, can hear it from their mouth, not just from our mouth, which is the truth. With that said, I would like to say good night to the Belizean people at home and abroad, and thank you for tuning in to this 138th episode of Belizean Affairs. Kindly tune in again on Wednesday night for another episode, which will be 139th episode.
Before you close up, Mr. Chairman, there's a particular comment there on the show, Section 50 of the Constitution, subsection 1. speaking to a subject that you had brought up before. I don't know if you want to make a comment quickly on it to the person that wrote it, or was that you that posted that? I'm not
Your
hearing
mic
you.
is mute. Your mic.
Go ahead, sir. We do have time to do that.
No. I was asking you because I remember you brought that up as a specific subject one time before, and I'm sure that you are as knowledgeable as anyone else in order to address.
There is
I
a
thought maybe you
comment
had
you
posted
say
it.
on,
I thought maybe you had
on
posted it
section, what
section
section?
50. Section 50, subsection 1. Somebody posted it. I don't know who did.
It's a comment. A comment?
Right, I cannot see the comment at this
Oh,
time.
no. Okay.
Can you read it?
Okay. Let me see. Every person born in wedlock has a moral obligation to maintain his father or mother and grandfathers and grandmothers in case the father or mother or grandfather or grandmother is by reason of old age or bodily or mental. I think it. No, I can't see the rest of it. But it
Okay,
relates to.
I know what you are talking about. Section 51 is non-binding. Actually, it says moral obligation.
Mhm. Moral and
Everything
legal is two different classification under the Constitution.
that is correct.
Yes, sir.
So I
Anyhow,
want the individual to know that that is non-binding.
thank you very
Moral
much, sir.
obligation is non-binding.
We're there.
Okay? Again, good night to the people at home and abroad, and thank you for tuning in.
Okay, gentlemen, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Palapa